about right balance in our life. I bet that almost in everything, in every part of our life, we need to find the right balance. The right balance between our work and our personal life, between spending time on pleasures or on self-improvement. Also, concerning the work, are you able to find the right balance with the relationship with your colleagues, with your boss or with your subordinates? Are you able to be flexible but not too flexible, so not to be a soft person, or being able to stick to your point of view but not to be stubborn, and for example, to be too serious or to be too funny. Now let's greet our job master, Vadim Mikrin.
The story I want to tell you about today is not my personal story, it rather comes from one of my colleagues. It happened during his first business trip in the Middle East. Specifically, it was in Dubai in large exhibition. It was a hard day for him. He was attending, standing on the booth and conversating with all the customers and other people who came nearby and asked some questions. So he got a little bit tired and he had to use an answer in the evening. So he went there, did his job. While he was there, when he opened the door and wanted to wash his hand, he saw a peculiar picture. So, very tall man, wearing white veil, was standing at the sink. The sink was about 1 meter or even more height, and he was washing his feet in it. So, it is pretty uncommon picture for a Russian guy. So he chuckled, but managed to hold his laughter, wash his hands, and went to his colleagues to the booth where everybody was with him. Then he eased himself, he laughed for a while and explained his colleagues why he was laughing. So his colleagues are basically the employees of Middle East office. Tall, handsome men, very respectable looking, in gray and black suits and leather dress boots, so shoes. So when they heard him explaining what happened, no one even smiled. Everybody were dead silent until one of them said, "Well, everybody here does this."
For your job. Some people say that when you start learning some language, you should start with grammar. Somebody says that you should start with words. But I think everybody in Toastmasters clubs understand that there must be the right balance between these two things, and that's why we have two roles in Toastmasters clubs, Grammarian and Wordmaster, and both roles today will be presented by one person, Olga.
Hello, it's really good to be recruited as Grammarian again, because it's always interesting to hear different words and phrases from you and comment on them. And on my own behalf, I want to offer an idiom, up a tree. And do you guess what it might mean? Anyone of you? Yes, have you checked?
One tree.
Exactly, but as an idiom. What does it mean? Any guesses?
So the thing that is written in your paper, right?
can confirm it. British guys say it's North American, and North American guys say that it comes from Britain. So, what do you think?
It's not North American.
Oh, that's really.
It's more like Cockney.
Well, that's it.
Like
Because
London.
in North
Yeah.
America, it's okay and it's a good phrase. Up a tree, it means that the situation is not just bad. It's really, really bad, and it's even hard to think of a way out. Like, as you see on the picture, what happens to a man. And as for the rest of the meeting, I encourage you all to use this Cockney phrase to become natural and smooth with the English language. And also, I will be listening to you speaking, and I will comment on the good use of the words and phrases and on the mistakes we can avoid. And I think that learning grammar is a real pleasure, and playing with grammar and words is real pleasure. Please enjoy.
Relating to the next rule, we don't have any balance. We have zero tolerance, and this is the R counter rule. So we don't. There is zero tolerance to any unnecessary words here. So the rule R counter here today is Irina.
Hi, I'm the person who will count all the and other words that are so bad for the speech, so I'm the person. I will, after all the meeting, I will tell you who will be the winner.
Thank you, Irina. So, what about your inner watches? Biological watches. Are you able to find the right time to stop your speech? We have a role of timer today who will help you to fine-tune your biological watches. And today's timer is Irina.
Dear members, dear guests, I shan't remind you importance of keeping time limit when you speak here before the audience. That's why I am here to remind this fact and to follow my signals. The green one means that you used minimal limit of time. Here, yellow means that you have 30 seconds more for speaking. And the red signal means that your time is over. Follow my signals.
When you play any game, I think the game should have the right balance in complexity. If it's too difficult, you will lose interest. If it's too easy, also you will lose interest. There must be some balance when you continue playing some game. Now we will start with our speeches, and the first speaker will be Vadim Mikrin, and with his project number 1, Icebreaker, and the title of his speech is "The Game is a Real Changer."
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the Toastmasters and the guests. First, I want to ask you, how many of you have ever attended to training seminars? Oh. Half. And how many of you attend such events regularly? Oh, not so many. But I used to believe that, maybe like some of you, that a proper training could solve for me basically every problem. When I was 18, like a regular guy, I have two major problems. First one was how to study in university, and the second one was a girl actually in this university. This was one of the prettiest girl in my batch, and I really didn't know how to approach her. So after about 2 months of procrastination, I finally found one book called, the book of the famous neuro-linguistic programming trainer, Robert Dilts, called Slave of the Mouth, the magic of conversational belief change, and then I thought, this is what I need. I read this book in one day, and after that I rushed to the university full of hope, but nothing happens. I even didn't met her this day, and after that also nothing happens. But I was, in a really strict mood. I visited about 10 neuro-linguistic program seminars in 3 months. So it was another 3 months. It was about 3 new months of procrastination. And finally she approached me with the help of her girlfriend. She was not so pretty, but she just came to me and told me, "Hello, my name is Natalie. I need to talk to you." That's all. This works perfectly. So the next big training session occurred, and I landed to a new job as the head of investment department in a big company. One of the biggest part of my job was to assist financial director to obtain loans from the bank, to get the leasing, and to sell the company's assets. And I quickly decided that my sales and presentational skills were not enough. So I enrolled in 2 months training session called Linguistics. It's quite famous training session for salespeople or people who want to improve their communicational skills. The training itself was quite fascinating experience, but at the end, I succeed only in those areas which I used every day in my job, or at least once a week. So the last and most unexpected experience I have recently, I like to play tennis, and I like to play tennis at 7 a.m. It's a very good time to play tennis because it's the only time I can schedule every day because of traffic jams, long meetings, and so on. But it's very hard to find a partner for this time. So I asked my coach to find me a partner, and he brought me one, and he was quite promising because he has 10 years experience in tennis, 2 to 3 trainings with the coach every week. So I really looked forward to meet him. So we met and started to warm up. It was also quite promising. And then we started to game, to play. Suddenly I won the first game, and when I won the second game, and when we finished the set, I won 6-1. To make you understand, I have only 3 years of playing experience, and I play only 2 times a week, only 1 time with the coach. So I asked him what was the problem with him, because 3 and 10 years experience is quite different. He told me that all these 10 years he only played with a coach, and only several times he played a real game with another partner. So completely changed my thoughts and experience in life. And actually I really understood that all those trainings was more or less the procrastination actually. Because only now I understand that first I should start to play, I should start the real game in life, and only then go to train in the strictly where I feel that I must have train. And so I encourage you also to start to play as soon as possible, because this game of life is a real changer. And of course, be yourself in this game. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes we need to find the right balance. Just to stop learning or stop training and face the real life and play the game in real life. So what about the openness to new people in your life? Are you too open to new people? Maybe you can have some negative consequences, or are you too close to new people? Maybe you can miss some very new, very interesting people in your life. The next speech will be presented by Anna, and with the project number 6, Vocal Variety. And the title of her speech is Strangers in the Life.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. I wanted to devote my speech today to our newcomers, but now we have just one, Svetlana, and I'm going to devote my speech to you. I'm looking forward to our future interaction and maybe possible friendship, and I will tell you why. I will tell you 3 stories that happened in my life and had a great impact on my life. The first one happened when I was a child. I was going by bus to my grandmother for my summer holidays, and it took 2 hours to get there. It was very boring, and I was sick and tired of this trip until an old lady get on our bus on a remote bus stop in the countryside. And to my greatest surprise, my mom started talking with her as if they knew each other. When the lady got off, I asked my mom, "Who is she? Why did you talk to her?" And my mom said, "She's your grandma's cousin." What? This stranger lady, old lady, is my relative. How can it be? What if this lady in front of me is also my relative? What if this fat and scary driver is my relative? I started questioning my mom, and she told me some facts about our family and world history, and I quickly came to a conclusion that we all people are relatives with a little difference in distance. We all shared the same ancestors 1,000 years ago. All we here in this room had the same grandma, grandma, past and past. So what this thought, what it changed in my mindset? I started to view a world as not as a hostile place full of enemies and foreigners, but as a friendly place full of relatives and friends. The second story happened to me when I was 20 years old, and I was coming home from Sochi. My ex-husband used to organize mountain bike competitions there, and we were coming back from one of them. So it happened on a train. In a restaurant car, we met a couple of guys. 2 of them were ordinary guys from Moscow, but one of them was a little bit different. Let me describe him. Short, bald, big ears, some missing teeth, golden chain, showy green Adidas suit and sneakers. And the first thing he told us, pointing at an to in Maastricht. So, this guy was a typical gopnik from Sochi. And moreover, he was fleeing Sochi because he committed some crime there and was heading to his relatives somewhere in the north. But despite all this, we spent a couple of hours drinking beer with them. But our train came at midnight to Moscow. The two guys quickly left, and we stayed a bit longer while pulling out our bikes and stuff. And then we saw Lyoha, that was his name. Lyoha, in the middle of the platform, up a tree, bored, small, confused, as if he was a lost and lonely child. And we couldn't but take this little criminal home. What a night it was. He was the most strangest stranger in our lives. We didn't know what to expect. So we barricaded the door of our room with some furniture and whispered all the night. But the next morning was rather peaceful. We had breakfast, then my husband gave this guy, Lyoh, a bike, and they went on a bike tour around Moscow and even visited Red Square. So Lyoha was extremely excited. And in the evening, we had to buy him the ticket. I don't know, maybe we gave him some money, I don't remember. And so he moved to Kiev. Well, what did this story taught me? Do not judge a person by his appearance. I'm pretty sure that this was a wake-up call for Lyoha, that his enemy, a guy he despised for having different looks and lifestyle, turned out to be a friend and helped him when he was up a tree. And to us, it also was, we also understood that a person we despised for having different looks and lifestyle turned out to be quite a nice guy. Well, the third story happened just recently, a couple of months ago. I met a girl in a fitness club, and the same day we met, we went to a cinema and then spent an evening talking about our lives. And the same evening, this girl, who turned out to be a human resources manager, gave me a valuable advice on my career that I immediately took, and in a week I got a promotion at my job. So, this story is short, but it shows that even a stranger can give you support and have a positive impact on your life. So to sum this up, telling from my experience, I can say that being open and having less prejudice and less being less conspicuous will have a lot of benefits. You can get support, knowledge, sometimes money, sometimes love, even from strangers. How to approach a stranger? Just imagine that he's your relative, and we are a part of a great and beautiful family of a humankind.
Thank you, Anna, for your speech. So overall, I think it's better to expect only the good thing from strange people. Because kind people, in the world we have a lot more kind people rather than bad. So what about pleasures, little pleasures in our life? I drink 3 cups of coffee during the day. I think it's too much for me. Who drink more than 3 cups a day?
It depends.
No? That's good. Good for you. So then the next speaker will be Calum Hems, and he is product number 7, research your topic, and the title of his speech, The Truth About Caffeine.
Hello, dear Toastmasters and hello guests. Yes, the truth about caffeine. Ermek already stole my opener, which is fantastic. He told me that he drinks 3 cups of coffee a day, so later I'm going to tell you if that's good or bad. Who drinks a lot of energy drinks as well? Okay. How many would you say that you drink a day?
Like one a month.
1 a month. Okay. So caffeine is quite pervasive in our society, and I found that about every 3 months or so, there's a new survey that comes out, and it's giving us different advice. What are the negative points? What are the positive points about coffee? So I wondered, okay, what are we supposed to believe here? So today, my speech, I will inform you a little bit about caffeine, what it does, what the effects are on your body. I think that maybe I won't change your opinion, maybe I won't change your routine, but at least at the end of the speech you will be better informed about the substance that you're putting into your body. So let's start with the good points. Okay. We all know that caffeine helps us to wake up. We all know that caffeine helps us to keep focused, and also it increases your attention span, which is great, especially if you're doing a job like driving a long way and if you're doing tedious work. So I think that calling it a health benefit, it might be stretching it a little bit, but if you're trying to stay awake while driving, I think it's definitely good for your well-being. Another great thing about caffeine is that it contains antioxidants, and antioxidants have been shown to actually reduce the causes of cancer, chances of cancer, which is fantastic. So let's talk about the negative effects of caffeine. So the negative effects of caffeine, what happens if you drink caffeine in a small amount? Well, if you take a small quantity of caffeine, then your heart rate will increase, you will urinate more, which will cause dehydration, and also a little bit of caffeine will cause your stomach to produce more acid. What happens if you take it in large quantities? Well, you're going to get headaches, you're going to feel restless, more nervous, and also it might mean you're unable to sleep. So, okay, what happens if you take it in very large quantities, excessive quantities? Well, this can cause hallucinations. And I didn't believe this at first, so I tried it. I drank 2 1-liter bottles of Red Bull a day, and yes, I had an extreme amounts of energy for sure, but by the end of the day, yeah, I actually was seeing like shapes out of the corners of my eyes. Only faint shapes, like a black square over here. The freakiest thing was when I sat down to watch some TV, like in the corner of my eyes, I saw the wallpaper moving like this. So yeah, I wouldn't try it, but if you want to, you can. So moving on, there was an article on the BBC Health website, and it says that caffeine has absolutely no benefits for you. But on the same token, caffeine, if you drink it moderately, will not cause any harm. So what is moderate consumption? That is actually 2 to 3 cups a day. So Ermek is right on the line here. 1 cup of coffee, if we talk about the standard cup of coffee, it contains about 95 milligrams of caffeine. So the amount you should be taking is about 250 milligrams to 300 milligrams of caffeine per day, and that's considered moderate. Anything over that will start to cause harm. What about energy drinks? So when I was researching this, I thought that an energy drink would have more caffeine than a cup of coffee, but actually it has 20 milligrams less, which is interesting. So it means that if you're drinking energy drinks, you don't really have to worry that bad unless you're drinking 2 big liter bottles a day. Again, don't do that. So what have we learned? One more thing is that caffeine depends on your personal tolerances as well. So the amount that caffeine can actually affect you depends on your health, depends on your weight, depends on your personal sensitivities to caffeine, and also actually depends on your mood, which is kind of strange. So to sum up, we know that caffeine does have some positive effects. We know that it does have more negative effects, but we know that if you drink about 2 or 3 cups a day, you're going to be okay. So when you sit down to have your third coffee, make sure it's your final one. And thank you for listening.
For the very useful information. You are curious and brave enough to experience on your body. Okay. So, love is all you need, or maybe not all you need. Maybe what do you think? What do you mean by this word love? Let's listen to our next speaker, Kristina Sharykina, with project number 2 from Speaking to Entertain from Professional Speaker Manual.
Thank you. First, I would like to recommend that it's an advanced manual, and my purpose is to entertain the audience, so I will try to do it right now. Love is. Do you remember this little bubble gum from our childhood? I would say that it was like a predecessor of modern Chinese cookies, which we open and we see a paper with something written there. Unfortunately, almost every time the things which are written on those papers come true. Love is. Love is having a wonderful, interesting adventure. Better, I have never, ever opened that love is bubblegum. Greece, Athens. We have already come to Athens, we have already seen the city. It was just before the International European Toastbusters Conference in May. We were together with my friend Alex. We rented an apartment not just close to the center of Athens. And finally, after seeing all the most interesting places of Athens, I tell my friend Alex, you know, now it's my time for the most woman thing. Shopping, of course. And let's do it separately, okay? Bye-bye. And so I go to the central part of Athens, to the place called Plaka. It's like the, I don't know, like our Arbat maybe, with a lot of little shops, tiny streets, etc. And so I'm walking down the streets, there are a lot of wonderful shops, people, and all these Greek products, clothes, goods, they just go into my hands. Thanks to the talkative Greek salesman, of course. So, and then say, in one moment, my happiness has finished, or has just initiated. It's up to you. It starts raining. And of course, at the majority of these foreign tourists walking along the streets of Plaka, I don't have an umbrella. And there is the only opportunity for me not to get wet, to enter one of the shoppings in Plaka. And I do it. I enter one of the Greek shops, and it turned out to be a shop of wonderful women clothes, made from the local fabric, which is called flex, lyon. So once I enter the shop, I see 2 talkative grannies, ladies, who look at me with their wonderful big eyes, telling me, "Such a beautiful girl. Where are you from?" "I'm from Moscow." "No, we don't believe you. Really? Would you like me to show you my passport?" No, it's okay, just please take your time, watch everything. And I took my time. I took 2 hours of my time to see all the things and to try everything I wanted. During the time I was trying to choose the dress I really wanted to buy, I think that they had enough time to discuss all the private details of life, both of their friends, relatives, and other people. After almost 1 hour and a half, one of the grannies called me like, "I'm sorry, I see you are hesitating among all the 20 things you have in your dressing room. So if you buy more than one, we will make you a discount." A discount? Okay, no, but still I don't have so much money to buy all the 20 things I have in my dressing room. After 30 minutes, I have decided to buy only 2. Perfect. Finally, it stopped raining and I just leaving the shop in a very good mood. But do you remember this wonderful phrase that troubles never come singly? It was just the start of my day. When I came to our apartment and we met finally with Alex, who of course didn't spend so much money as I did, I told him, "Alex, you know, today I found out in a touristic guide that there is a theater of national Greek dances. Those who know me quite well will tell me that I'm an addicted dancer. I practice salsa, bachata, tango, merengue, kizomba, everything. And of course, I wasn't able to miss an opportunity to go to the National Theater of Greek Dances. And moreover, this wonderful theater was located on the mountainside of Acropole, and actually not so far from the place where we rented our apartment. Alex, we must go." "Okay, let's go," said my dear friend Alex. The start was at 8 p.m. and due to the thing that the place wasn't so far from our apartment, of course we decided to go by foot without working. On a half of our way, I looked at my watch and it was still 7:30 as it was 20 minutes ago when we left our apartment. "Alex, we have a little problem." "Okay, Kristen, let's just go faster." "Okay, let's go faster." And we are going much more faster. And so we come to one point and suddenly Alex asked me, "Kristen, but there is no any indicator where to go, to the right or to the left. As usually it happens in every moment of our life, we have to choose." "Alex, I don't know, you're a man, you must choose in this case," I said. "Okay, Kristen, there is some local man, let's ask him." "Okay, let's ask him." "Hello, you know we are looking for a National Theater of Greek Dances. Do you know where is it situated?" Of course he didn't, despite being a local working with his little dog. I'm already double stressed, up a tree, and finally I turn my head and we are saved to policemen. "Hello, policemen! My name is Kristina. You know, we are looking for a theater of national Greek dances, and I know that this theater is somewhere here on the mountainside of Acropole. Could you help us, please?" The policemen were a woman and a man. So a woman looked at me. "A theater? Are you sure?" Yes, of course. We read about it in a touristic guide." She looked at me with a bit of scare. Then she looked to her colleague, man, then back to me and said, "But are you sure you want to go to this theater?" Of course. I love national dances, and we found out the information in the touristic guide, so we would like to go there, but we don't know the direction. Okay, you have to take this way, and it was like a forest with a tiny path, almost no light and no people. And it was really very dark already. So the woman was continue talking. So you have to take this direction, but please take care of your personal belongings and of your life. Good luck, guys. Sorry. The thing is that it's too late. It's already 8:30, and this path is quite dangerous. And moreover, there are almost no normal people there, no light. So please take care of your personal belongings. Bye bye. Alex, take care of our personal belongings. But my desire to see the national Greek dances was much stronger than my fear. And we continued the way. Frankly speaking, I hate horror films. I have never ever in my life watched even one. But in that moment, I was really feeling as I was the protagonist of the horror film. Just imagine, it's a real story. A forest, a tiny path, no light, no people, total silence, no indicators of direction, and we continue going somewhere. After 15 minutes of working, finally I saw the indicator as it was no light, so it was quite dark, and I told Alex, I think this is the indicator, we have to go to the left. He told me, yes, and I think then downstairs. A theater? Downstairs in the forest? Okay, let's go. So we continued going. We are already near the place we have to enter. Alex, but don't you think that it's a bit strange that we don't hear any music? Because it's like an open theater. Yes, Kristina, you are right, but still, let's try to come in. So finally we are near the entrance, and the only thing we see, it's a plate, like tablichka. Be careful, angry dog. What? Angry dog? There is a dancing theater and you're looking like angry dog? So finally the theater was closed. Despite the thing that in the touristic guide it was written that it was open, it was closed. But we reached the theater after 1 hour and a half, and we were still safe and still alive and still with our personal belongings. So then there was another challenge, because of course we had to return home. But thanks to our fantasy imagination and love to adventures, we decided to choose another way for returning to the civilization, because the day before we were on excursion and we knew that there was another exit from this mountainside. Okay, so still there is no light, nothing happens, dangerous people somewhere, and we continue going. So finally we reached the place where the exit should be situated, but of course it is closed. Alex, it is closed. Almost 1 hour for coming back to the policeman. There is no asphalted path at all. There is a mountain and we had to go like upstairs, and it was really like that. And for putting a better mood, I decided to put some Spanish music, because both Alex and I, we speak of course Spanish language. So we go in somewhere without any direction, thinking some Spanish song, So finally, when in like maybe 40 or 50 minutes we are back, I remember the words of that woman, like take care of your personal belongings, of your life, because there are a lot of dangerous people in this place. We finally came to the same place where we started our direction to the theater. We still see those two policemen, and that woman, she looked at me in a very happy way. She winkled me. And actually, I don't know who was happier. We, that finally after 2 hours, we were back to the civilization, or them, not having like 2 dead bodies on their territory. So it was a very interesting and funny story. And when we were trying to find a theater with Alex, I already knew that I would like to put this idea to the entertaining speech. And while we were working and trying to return to those policemen, we were talking with Alex about this moment, and he told me, Kristen, it will be a great story for your entertaining speech. So Love to Our Adventures also presented me an opportunity to share this story with you and to put you, maybe to give you a piece of a good mood. Thank you. I just finished.
Thank you for your very interesting story. During your speech, I felt like I was with you and Alex. So I'm very pleased to announce the next part of our meeting. It's a change in the meeting agenda. I'm very pleased with this next part. It's a break, and please feel free to have water and focus.
So we have 10 minutes break, and it is exercise for all our team members and guests to practice time management. So 10 minutes, please, not more.
Okay, let's have the right balance between meeting and break. I think break is very good because when the meeting is too long, people start losing focus. And this is very good that we have a break. Now we will continue with the next part of our meeting. It's a table topics session, and our today's table topics master is Alexandra Guliaeva.
Dear Toastmasters members, soon-to-be members, and dear guests. Now we are processing to the next part of our meeting, which is called Table Topics Session. Table Topics Session is a great opportunity for everybody to try improvised speaking. For today, we have the topic about finding balance between something and something. And in order to start the Table Topics Session, I'm going to extract something from my pocket. Whoa, it's my phone. Check please that your sound of mobile phones is off. And another thing which I'm going to extract from my pocket is these cards. And each of these cards has some text on it about finding balance between what and what you are going to talk about. For example, if I have a card about finding balance between work and studies, then I'm going to talk about how I was finding balance between this and that in my life. It can be your personal story, or it can be an imaginary story, and please consider the time limits from 1 minute to 2 minutes, and remember that you can have 30 seconds before you start speaking. That's all from my side, and I'm inviting any volunteers to start it.
What do you want to do and what do you have to do? I have to find a balance between what I want to do and what I have to do. Naturally, there are some things you want to do and there are some things you have to do. Well, and you're drawn to things you want to do, but you want to do things that you want to do. But the trick is, if you always do what you want to do, you start having less and less enjoyment out of it. You indulge yourself. It's like taking drugs. You take small dose, it's okay, it doesn't work. You have to take a larger dose, like two bottles of energy drinks after some time. And the thing is, I think if you have a situation when you have to choose between things you want to do and things you have to do, if you do the things you have to do, firstly, you will respect yourself, and it is a quite pleasurable thing in itself. And secondly, you can take what you want to do as a reward. So you have double pleasure, as a matter of fact. So I don't think should be much of a balance. Well, there can be some of balance. You have to do what you want to do. Do what you have to do. Reward yourself with what you want to do. Then do what you have to do. Reward yourself with what you want to do. And I don't know for how long I've been speaking. I'm supposed to speak at least for 1 minute. I can tell you a joke. Really?
It's not a surprise for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm inviting the next speaker. And find the right balance between encouraging and giving feedback. Okay, the non-Toastmaster thing. I'm this kind of person who always uses the strategy of giving things which were done in a good way, things which needs to be corrected, and I always finish my evaluation with something really positive, even if the speech isn't the best one. I suppose that we all do need this kind of motivation, without which we actually are not able to live. And you know that yesterday I was on a seminar of Hakamada, because I was given as a present this seminar. And I also heard from her about the balance between encouragement and giving feedback. So it's like a total coincidence. And she also was talking to us about this kind of motivation in anything we do. And in my opinion, if we are talking concretely about the Toastmasters, we are not able to permit ourselves not to encourage the person, because everybody who is there on this stage is like a mentor for for example, her speaker. That's why this balance between encouraging and giving feedback is important, and I would say that encouraging is even more important than sometimes giving feedback, because it depends a lot on a person. Not every person is ready and is able to perceive this feedback sometimes. And in this way, the encouragement can be much more important. So if we are not able to find balance, then it's better to go for encouragement and then for giving feedback. Thank you. I would like to clarify some issues we have with timing.
Yeah, actually I didn't see the time
Irina?
side, that's why I was like a bit lost.
Are you a timer today?
Yes.
The speakers say they don't see your signs.
It was necessary because she used only 1 minute 30.
For table topics we have time limits from 1 minute to 2 minutes, and we have the red light at
2 minutes.
At 2 minutes, and
You have to show green light when it's 1 minute.
green light at 1 minute, and yellow light at 1 minute 30. Like I can write it.
I see. But usually we didn't show green signal at table topic.
So well, it is supposed to be like this, am right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I'm inviting the third speaker, and I would like to remind that we are going to vote for the best table topic speaker at the end of the session. Ilina. Find your balance between
emotions and rationality.
It's a tough one.
When I start thinking about finding the right balance about emotions and rationality, I start thinking about Indian studies, about Ayurveda, because actually you have your physical body, you have your emotional body, and you have your mental body, which is your rational. And actually these three bodies, they are linked together and have to be formed, they have to be aligned. There is no like you have your right part of the brain and your left part of the brain, and in fact they are supporting each other. And just your physical body gives your physical energy, and the emotion they give you they breathe life into you. Because with just body you would be like a robot, and with your emotions you become a person, and rationality gives your sense of being. And yeah, it's not one or another, it's actually all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizaveta, and now Ivan. And I would also like to say that all the newcomers are welcome to try. Balance between?
The balance between risk and security. Basically, I'm not the balance guy. Actually, I think that balance is like doing on half each thing. So we miss the first thing, we miss the second thing, we do something on average, and that's not so good. So I would prefer to do first one thing, finish it, and then do the second one. So if speaking about risk, if we risk, so let's risk. Yeah, so let's play for big. Sometimes it can be dangerous, sometimes we can get in trouble, but that's where we get our adventures and our experience, and that's where we learn. So if you want big achievements, risk big. Security, and that's the point with security. So if we want to be safe, let's act in a safer way. So I think that the balance is about, first of all, not doing things on a half. It's about doing both things, but on a consecutive way. So thank you.
Thank you, Ivan, for your idea. And now I'm waiting for our next speaker. Please welcome.
Имя.
What's your name? Dasha. Balance between?
I'm supposed to talk about keeping memories and forgetting bad things. Oh, that's my topic, I think. Well, when we think about memories and bad things, I actually recall one example. Why should I remember the birthdays of all my classmates which live in another city, and I don't communicate with them and I don't behold relations? Why should I get my memory back with this information? Why can't I just remember some formulas or some more recent and important information for my life? And it is very I don't think that remember dates is a bad thing that I should remember, but it is something which is not useful now, and I think that it is bad. And how about forgetting bad things? I don't think that it is actually possible, because we actually remember the things that excite us, that bring us some emotions, and they stick in our heart for a long time. And it also keeps for the best things in our lives. So the balance between good things which we remember and the bad things, I think that it should be sustained and to keep us in healthy mind and to allow us to foresee the future and to maybe be more natural and enjoy our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. The balance between
quality and quantity.
Can you repeat, please?
Quantity and quality.
Quality.
Quantity and quality. I try to. I want. I hope that one day quantity of my of me on this stage will be a quality of my speech. And I don't know what can I speak better than it. Quality and quantity. I think that the most important thing, of course, quality in our life. Thank you. I don't know what I'm going to say.
Thank you.
Useful.
Thank you for the So the next speech is by Calum.
What you say and how you say it. Well, it's tricky because I don't know what to say. But obviously what you say is extremely important. You should always think very carefully about what you're about to say, because if you want to make friends, you need to think about what you're going to say. And you should always think twice, because what you say is very important, because you don't want to be confused. You don't want somebody to misunderstand you. So you should always be very careful to know that you're communicating the idea that you want to communicate, or else things could go horribly wrong. How you say it is very important. Maybe that's to do with gestures, body language, eye contact, etc. So I think there is a balance. And didn't somebody say that there was 70% of what you communicated was your body language, 27% was your voice tonality, and only 3% was your actual words? To be honest, I have never agreed with that idea, because when you're in Russia, you don't understand anything, it's just the words. So I think the balance is probably more around 50%. you should think first about what you're going to say and make sure that you're understood with your body language and your gestures. That's all I have to say.
And now I would like to ask some newcomers or someone who didn't speak yet, maybe, or Vadim.
Maybe.
You were raising your hand?
Talking maybe some
the balance between?
the balance between saving money and spending money. All this is my theme. Because until recently I worked as a financial director, and the saving money was actually my goal, and the spending money was the goal of everybody else. So this is I who brought the balance between spending and saving. I must say that is really important. It's like, you know, the one of the previous balances was the balance between emotions and the money and the spending. Yeah, rationality. Yeah, yes. I think that you know, it could be the emotions beside the savings. And also, if you would like to start to save the money, try to put the emotions in that. So you can feel every time you save the money, you can feel good, and you also can feel rather better when you buy something on the money you just saved. So let's save money and feel good about it.
And we have the last slot for the table topic speeches. Yes? Would you like to? Okay, well, any other volunteers? Oh, please, Irina.
Oh, balance between keeping things and throwing them away. Oh, it's a big question with all Soviet parents. Everybody knows it. All the time when I was growing up, always my mom was keeping things all the time, and sometimes I was like at the tree because I was always wishing to throw them away. Everything from grandmothers, grandmothers, and all the needless things around. But it was like a passion to show that I want to bring something new in this world. But now I'm thinking about it in another way. Sometimes there are things that are valuable, that are always valuable. So sometimes it's not necessary to throw them away. We can look, for example, at the European people and their culture, how they save things. And now I think in other way that I try to be very I try to keep things and to save them more than to throw away, or at least think twice before I do this. And I'm friends with my mom. Thank you.
And now I would like to remind you that we are going to vote for the table topics best speaker, and in order to make this procedure, I offer you to take this kind of papers from your tables and choose the best speaker of them all. And pass this ballot to Margarita. I hope the voting is complete, and I hope you enjoyed the table topic session. And now we are proceeding to another part of our meeting, and I'm now asking Ermek to the stage back. Okay.
Thank you, Alexandra, for the very interesting tabletop session. I will not take too much money. Money is in. I'm thinking about money. Yes, so I'm not taking too much time out of you. We will proceed with the evaluation part, and our general evaluator of today's meeting is Alexandra. Alexandra Guliaeva.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I would like to begin with our reports of personal evaluators and then the minor reports and my whole report of the meeting and of the roles minor and personal evaluators will come in the end. Well, first person who will take the stage during the evaluation part will be the evaluator of the first project from the pathways, the icebreaker, Elizaveta Minkina. Please come here. My evaluation report is to evaluate icebreaker project from Vadim Mikrin. And guys, do you remember yourself when you delivered your first icebreaker? How did you feel? Up the tree? Some yes, some not. But definitely, you know what, when I did mine, I was up the tree. And probably the biggest achievement of Vadim, he didn't look like he's up the tree. He looked like a confident speaker. And first, my congratulations with completing your first project and first icebreaker. And the purpose of the project is to introduce himself to an audience. Did you learn something about Vadim today, something personal?
He plays tennis at 7 a.m.
And also, you immediately captured my attention with this story about how you tried to approach a girl, and about your procrastination, and another story about improving your soft skills. So you had a very good structure of the speech. There was a very clear opening when you try to when you engaged with the audience. You have good main part with 3 stories and people remember them, and you have a very good closing about that. You should play as soon as possible, not overtrain. And so this is marks that it's a very competent speech. So he was on time, and it seemed that you didn't use the nose, right? And I think it's another big achievement for an icebreaker. And the things that we had a quick chat with Vadim ahead of the meeting, and he explained that he values constructive feedback. That's why I probably do more constructive feedback than for usual icebreaker. And so if you want to, the thing that you might want to work on is probably increasing eye contact, because you looked at the audience, but it's like not seeing people. So it's like, but not real people in the audience, because that would help you to capture the attention even better. Then, if you really want to challenge yourself, you should work on the vividness of your speech, maybe adding color to your stories. And you had a special request to me to look at your body language, and because you was worried that you might appear spoofy, if it's the right word, but you was not scary at all. I rather wanted you to be more less restrained, show your gestures even more. That's how it
I felt it. But overall, great icebreaker, and I'm really looking forward to see your next project.
Thank you, Elizaveta. Now we come,
wow, that was loud,
to the second project, which is number 6, vocal variety from Ilina, and the evaluator is Nilolay Denisenko. Nilolay, please come with me.
Dear Toastmasters, dear Anna, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the good speech. I really like it. I really like it because you selected the topic which is very relevant for all of us. We are not strangers, right? I was touched when I heard you. It's really good. Selection of the topic is quite good. Also, when you use dialogues, that helps a lot to reach the purpose of this speech, which is practice on vocal varieties. Because during the dialogues, you can practice different voices, and I like and I do see that you use the varieties, and when you have a discussion and dialogue with your mom, what, this lady is my relevant? So such kind of dialogue is quite good. And the other thing that you used quite a good speed. You used pauses, sometimes whispering, which is also quite good. The item which I would like to for you to pay more attention is to speak up a bit more. This is quite noisy environment, and it would be good to speak up your voice, to increase your volume. The other thing, in terms of the body language, when you have dialogues, it's better to use like this person says something and the answer is, and it's kind of dialogue, to use your stage in a more freedom way, because you stayed at one place and you didn't move, and that would be good to introduce as well. I really like that you used a personal story, which is quite powerful, and you used word of the day, quite good for the prepared speeches. Overall, I think it is a successful speech. I'm looking forward to see your next speech, project number 7. Okay, thank you very much, Anna. Good luck.
Thank you, Nilolay. And we proceed to the third speech and third evaluator, the project number 7, research the topic from System Manual. Maria Kalinkina. Masha, please come to the stage.
Thank you, Sasha. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests, Calum. So, you did project number 7, and you spent a really huge way. Congrats, anyway. Your speech has the name Research Your Topic, and as I think you did a great research, much better research than Google can make. The truth about caffeine. What goes best with a cup of coffee? Another cup, of course. I really appreciate coffee, so thank you very much that you chose that really interesting topic to share it with us. As I said, you did a really good job. You started with an interactive with auditory. You asking questions. It was really cool. So, I like your preview, a small teaser before your huge blockbuster. That was like a promotion of your speech.
Your speech was really good structured. Your column some things like coffee can help you to wake up, to focus, and put your attention. It's like coffee traffic light, special kind of yellow, green, and red colors. So, one thing that I really want to ask you, are you sure that hallucinogens are a bad thing?
Not always.
Not always, because sometimes moving wallpapers is not really bad. It can help. So, your speech was effective a lot because you supported it with statistics, stories, facts, and examples. And it was like really good that you achieved a goal from your manual, from your competitive communicator manual. So some advices for you for the future speeches. Maybe about vocal variety and some kind of speed of the speech. Maybe it will be better a little bit to speak slowly for the auditory. But anyway, it was really cool. So thank you very much. Keep on and good luck.
Thank you, Maria. And the last but not the least, fourth project, speaking to entertaining from professional speaker manual, and for personal evaluator, Denis Shevchuk.
Delivering funny speeches is not easy. Telling you from my experience. I've been doing it for 3 years. On average, twice a week. And to this day, sometimes when I joke, I stop after my joke and I say, it was a joke, people. When you have to make a funny story, being a Toastmaster, and the story has to be 15 to 20 minutes, you certainly up a tree with the test. Humor is an art. It is usually the way I know. It usually works like that. You create a joke, you try it to an audience. If it works, you take it as a working joke. And that's how you save jokes. You have to come up with something with the first try. Let's analyze your speech. As difficult as analyzing a humor speech, let's analyze your speech. Well, I think all of you agree that firstly, the story was pretty clear. It was easy to listen to. It was delivered in a chronological order. Secondly, I don't know whether you agree with me or not, but Kristina's essence is acting and very good vocal variety. That's what helped you make it entertaining. I mean, I saw people chuckling and sometimes laughing at some of your jokes. And some is not a bad thing. But naturally, there are things that you could have done differently and should have done differently. And the things are at the beginning and the conclusion. You took the stage, you said, I'm delivering a speech from a manual to the professional speaker, this is the second. Why do we have to listen to that? Especially in entertainment speech, you have to start abruptly, energetically, drawing people in. I think a probable start for a speech could be, I love you people. I'm just joking, but let me tell you about love. Right? And the conclusion, the same thing. What did you have to say? Well, it was my story, well, I was with Alex, well, I decided I want to tell you, we went there. You could have said, well, it was an invention, I didn't much like it, but still, I appreciate it. That's it. Overall, a good performance, especially taking into account that it's not easy, delivering and preparing a humor speech. The next time you try doing something like that, mind your beginning and conclusion. But nevertheless, congratulations.
Well, evaluating is a work that can be upstream. And it's not easy to evaluate speakers, but also it's not easy to evaluate as a minor role player. So our brave guys will come to the stage next. And now I want to ask to the stage our grammarian and master, Olga Bazhenova.
Hi again, and here I am with my report about our grammar today, about how successful we were with our grammar today. And for Irina, I think the word you sought for is frugal, about that you tend to save things. And for you as well, I think you might use it, the word frugal. Yeah, Calum, am I right?
Yes, frugal. Careful about what you say.
And what you save. Yeah. Okay, and first I wanted to talk about what was done really, really well. A really good word was changer, like all those American words, ending with ER, like no-brainer, changer, looker. These are short words which work really well, so a good word, thank you. Then there was a good word as well. One of the biggest part of my job, big is a simple word as well, but it has lots of meanings, you can play with it. Most important parts, most extensive parts, great. Also, a good thing that you used the idiom of the day, apostrophe, but, oh sorry, it was on. But you know, it's really a serious situation, and you might say, I felt like I was up a tree, he felt like he was up a tree, because actually he wasn't, but it was good that you used it. Then also, another good thing was that the phrases you used, Anna, that gave you support, because it's real good English, I think, because when you say you not hugged someone, you gave a hug. You didn't kiss someone, you gave a kiss, for example. It's good. Then about columns, good English, good words, pervasive. I recommend you to use it because pervasive is a good word, whatever it concerns. Internet, technology, thinking, it's a good word, please use it. Then instead of written words like strength, weaknesses, opportunities, strong points, weak points. Point is a really great word. Then by column again, tedious work. When it's not just boring, it's not just tiresome. Tedious exactly describes what happens. Okay, again.
Would you please write it on the table? On the board.
I can publish it on our page if you want me to. Okay, then as for the things that were not done so well, let's play a little game. I'll tell you the word or a phrase that was used and you replace it with a really good phrase or word. Instead of saying relatives, what could you say?
Biologically connected people.
Great!
Yeah.
Great! Yeah. And also? Like family, my family. You could use simple word. Also about grannies, because here in Russia we know what babushka is, and all the world knows what babushka is. Even Queen Elizabeth knows what babushka is. But they are old ladies, more likely. Then, what kind? Indicators. I think it comes from Spanish. These are signs. And Calum, now I need your help. If you love someone, how do you say this word? Love someone. Please say it for people.
I love you.
Thank you. Because we often say I love something, and we have contest session here, and a great guy who led the session, and he said laugh instead of love, because it was love is. So one of our speakers told a great story about laughter, because the articulation was poor. It was fun, and he took the 3rd place. He was a bronze winner, but still. Also, from Calum again, good use of models, and I would use models as often as I could, and I recommend you to do that. Anything that will start to cause harm. And that was used by Nilolay and by Calum, is that they used the positive words, like that caffeine does have positive effects. And like Nilolay said, I like and I do see. Good use. And finally, our top of the tree club members who used up a tree. These are Anna, Kristina, Lisa, Denis, and Irina. So join the club. And thank you.
Well, now we come to the person who listened very, very careful to all our filler words. Irina, please tell us what did you find out today?
Okay.
So what I have to say? We have several winners who didn't use any unuseful words at all. It's Alexandra Yakubovich and Denis Shevchuk and our timekeeper Irina. Guys, you're perfect. Thank you. And what about our speakers? The best is Kristina Sharykina. She had only 8 words. Where is Kristina? Thank you. What about others? The second place is Calum with so word.
I really
yeah,
like that.
So yeah, it's 18 times. So a lot of so it's 18 times. Yes. Then Anna, 18 too. 18 words you used. And then Vadim, a person. That was your thing.
How many?
23.
Oh, okay.
So, your speech was great, but you should work a little bit on these words. So, thank you guys. Thank you all. And what about time? People usually say time is money, right? This is a common phrase. We know this phrase all, and actually it can become a boring phrase for us because we all say it. Irina, could you please tell us who were within time limits and who exceeded them? Thank you.
See, I think it seems to me that nobody noticed my signs, really, because nobody showed any sign that he or she noticed my signs. Of course, the majority kept the limit time, but all the same, members, it is necessary to show any sign that you notice my work. Or not my work, but work of any time. Of course, the overcoming was very little, really. Speakers overcome only 20 seconds. Of course, it is a little time for overcome. It's Mikrin 23, Ilina 10 seconds. It's a brilliant result. During table topic, nobody overcame time limit. Hems didn't use all your time. Of course, it was more than minimal time limit, but you could speak about 20 minutes more. Short speech. Only grammar overcame time 1 minute 40 seconds. That's all. Thank you. Oh, signals.
Thank you, Irina. And now I come to my small report. I will begin with our Toastmaster, Ermek Toktogulov. What can I say? The choice of the topic of the meeting was good. I really liked it. Finding balance is the essential thing for all of us. The only thing I missed a little bit is incorporating this topic into introduction of each of our speakers and minor roles. You made good and very smooth links between our speakers, but if you could tell some little personal story about how they find balance in their personal life or in their work, I don't know, it could be more tasty, I should say. Then I will tell you about our table topics master, Sasha. Well, incorporating the topic of the meeting into your table topic speech is a good idea and is always fresh and evolving. I like that you told rules, also the timing rules for people. Not all the table topics masters do that. I also like that you made people speak. You see, we have, well, 9 speakers, but that wanted to come to the stage willingly, without taking them by the hand and telling, come here, I need you to speak. Nice. The thing that you need to pay attention in the future is taking newcomers to the stage. Today we had only one newcomer who was not sure if she wants to take a step to the stage. I think you will do it for the next meeting. But when we have a lot of them, we usually ask 1 or 2 experienced speakers, and then we take newcomers by the hand and tell, come here and try yourself, show us what you can do. Okay, I won't evaluate our speakers, but I will evaluate their personal evaluators. Elizaveta. Well, warm feedback. You told us the purpose, asked questions, showed examples of good things and room for improvement. The only thing I should mention is try to keep track of time. It's always difficult for personal evaluation because we need to speak a lot and to tell all of the things to speak, but we can always do the majority of evaluation after the meeting. Oh no, good job. Nikolay. Well, you're one of the best personal evaluators in Toastbusters, in my personal opinion. But for this time, well, once more, in my personal opinion, you were a little bit too positive. The topic of Anya's speech was nice. Phrases were really good. But I was waiting till the end when you tell Anya, look at Kristina, look how she makes accents, when she uses pauses, and try to use it in your future speeches. Don't get me wrong, Anya, I liked your project, but if we talk about vocal variety, you could use more pauses and just stare to the people and wait for their reaction and interact with them. Or you could be really loud when you were talking about this stranger, bold stranger with some criminal records, like how you were scared, for instance. But all in all, the feedback was good. And well, the only thing that I think you need to incorporate in your evaluations, don't be afraid to be a little bit more harsh. I know we all want to tell people all the good things and show them that we appreciate their work, but sometimes we need a little bit push-up to be even better. Well, when I come to Maria and Denis, I have nothing to add. Great evaluation, thorough evaluation, sense of humor, feedback, well done. Our joke master, Vladimir, your joke was good, it was really good. The thing that people couldn't laugh at it, you weren't interacting with them. You were thinking about yourself, you were thinking what I should tell next, how do I look on the stage, and you were looking on the floor, on the ceiling, on your hands, and if you tried to tell the story, it was interesting one, they would laugh. And this is the thing that you need to work in future. Try not to be afraid to look at the people and try to use eye contact, for instance, with 4 or 3 of them in the room and talk to them. If you're afraid to look at all of people, it helps. Grammarian, Olga. Good report, good phrase. The only thing I think that could be done differently is too many questions raised in the beginning of your report and in the end. I'm not sure that people were ready to interact. So
that was the purpose.
Yeah, I think it was. Just in case, maybe it would be better to make a question only in the beginning or only in the end. Accountant, Irina, good introduction and good report. It was short. You showed who were good and who need to work with their filler words and phrases. And last but not the least, Ilina. Well, thank you for taking time around. You, as far as I know, you take it quite often, and you like to interact with people, you like to come to Toastmasters. The only thing I saw, there was some misunderstanding about table topic session. Maybe it would be better for you and table topics master to talk this timing procedure beforehand, before the meeting, so there wouldn't be any interaction during the session. Well, that's it for me. Thank you for your attention. And it's time to ask, I guess, our president to the stage, right? Nilolay Denisenko.